Okay, so this is gonna be my review for One Piece 1000 chapters 1067 and yeah, and obviously I'm extremely late with this review for many different reasons. So we can just start with the chapter is talking about with the monkey Luffy and Jinbei talking with the real Vegapunk, and they talk and obviously about different things, and obviously Vegapunk explained his devil fruit, the knowledge fruit that giving knowledge and other kinds of things. One thing I think is very funny in the chapter is that he talks about Momo and the experiment, like the fake devil fruit. There was a copy of Kaido's devil fruit, the dragon fruit, the fish know me, and what he say, and then obviously Monkey Luffy say that the fruit was obviously Vegapunk said there was a failure, and Monkey Luffy said yeah, and obviously Momo is a guardian of Wano right now, and then and ask why is this a failure, and Vegapunk ask what kind of color, and yeah, and Monkey Luffy say it's pink, and Vegapunk is very upset because he's a perfectionist, obviously because Kaido is like light, like turquoise light blue, his dragon form, and Momonosuke's dragon is pink, so it's opposite color. So that the whole thing what Vegapunk sees is a failure with Momonosuke with his copy of Kaido's Devil Fruit is just because it's the wrong color. He thinks it was a mistake. Then obviously the talk obviously Vegapunk explains a bit about the ancient Iron Giant that was like 6,000 years ago in One Piece, and obviously the knowledge and that the world government want to keep that kind of ancient civilizations, ancient kingdom a secret for the rest of the world in the One Piece universe. Um, I, I think I like some part of it is in the chapter. I think it's okay. It's interesting. Obviously, and for the some bit cheap fun part with the color differences of the dragons. Um, I don't, obviously beside all of this, and obviously, and when obviously Vegapunk explained that all of the other Vegapunks obviously are his clones, but they are specific expert in specific fields that he had created because of his devil fruit, his knowledge fruit. So one is expert, one is that knowledge, and the other thing kind of all this kind of thing. But obviously that was from the start when if we first see a clone of a Vegapunk machine. The girl, obviously the number two, and obviously it's almost a very classical manga style. Obviously, very old. Uh, Sorry, I'm saying that, but old creepy guy with a long tongue and like this kind of art style is very much most commonly will be the scientist in manga. It's very few mangas like in shonen manga that we're gonna see a girl in that style being a scientist. It's very stereotypical art stylistic for a scientist to look like Vegapunk, the real Vegapunk. And I have always have known that from the start. I always say that in my first video, in that chapter review about when we see that this is, I was very like this is not Vegapunk. with that girl, because it was never Vegapunk. It was just a clone. So Vegapunk, so the real obviously is, and then obviously we come to Dragon and other revolutionary army, and they try just working. They have to try to fix Bartholomeus, the big bear, and fix him, because he was one of the original members of the revolutionary. And yeah, so I think that part is interesting, and obviously they declare war. Obviously now is a big start for the revolutionary army to really turn on the flame, really turn on the flame, and this kind of thing. Yeah, personally, I don't think anybody really cares about that specific part where we say right now. But one reason is why I don't are doing review the same day they are out. On right now, instead of before, was always on Fridays, but now they are releasing them on Thursday in English translation, and on the day before Thursdays, obviously the original language text in Japanese. So all this kind of, I don't know. I think just that, I don't know if you can call it an arc, but that specific part, they are in the Egg Island with Vegapunk, Punk, and I think, I don't know. I think always some, I don't know. Honestly, that is the thing here. I don't really know if I like it or it's too different for me than Wano. Obviously, it's very different, but it's something. I don't know. It's like, it feels like I have see these kind of things before in mangas or in comics, in a way that it's like a laboratorium with like machines and the stereotypical creepy scientist. For me, it's I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't, for me it's not really my favorite so far. I really hope that soon that we will see different things. I really hope that they don't, in my personal opinion here, I really hope that we don't gonna be in this place as long as there was in Wano. I really hope for that, because for me right now is obviously I like One Piece, but this so far these 3 chapters have really been hard for me to really come into and really see. Obviously it's a point, obviously, but really see that it's too much character you don't remember. Like, I promise you, like maybe in 1 year or two, 1.5 year later, all of this character beside obviously the original Vegapunk, some people will remember, but all of the other, like maybe the girl Vegapunk 2, maybe, and or maybe Vegapunk 1, this 1, the 2 robots, the 2 clones, and all this kind of thing. But obviously, it's not a clone, because most clones look very identical to the original, and none of them do. So they are just some kind of pacifista versions that he have created with different specifics of the Vegapunks. So almostly the name Vegapunk is not, but almost most like a specific title, but it's anyways. But so for me, I like, obviously One Piece is different for each arc and each journey, obviously. But the thing here in obviously in Wano was very interesting because you have dinosaurs. Obviously, dinosaurs is very popular. You have you are in Japan. You the like manga version of Japan, Wano. We and you have mythical creatures. It was more like a adventure things, and the same with Alabast. You were like a fantasy version of Egypt and maybe somewhere in Middle East, maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe somewhere there, but most likely Egypt with the falcon and the shackle and all this kind of thing. The same with when they was fighting against Anel. There was some kind of hint to Buddhism, like the with and like in the obviously inspiration with the Maya and obviously mixed with the Maori, with the Shandorians and all of this kind of thing is for me this was more interesting because there was some kind of unique things to it, like a Sky Island, archaeology. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's always it's it's a very yeah. It's just obviously it's just my personal opinion. Obviously, I don't really need to. I really don't. I really do not need to say this because I hope people will just understand. This like like when people watch this if people will watch this video, I hope they just understand this, that everything I say here and what I think about something is just my opinion and this kind of thing. So obviously I will continue to do review on One Piece, but maybe it's not gonna be as frequent as was before, and maybe it will be more frequent in the future when it's more interesting for me, anyways. Um, Obviously, yeah. One thing I forget, we see the Cyberpoles. So Rob Lucci and other members. Always forget the guy that can turn into a giraffe. Obviously Rob Lucci obviously can. His devil fruit is a leopard. So yeah, that's also what I mean with forgetting characters. Like some characters you always remember, and that's obviously Rob Lucci, Crocodile, Kaido, Big Mom, um, Katakuri, NL, all of the Straw Hats. I This is character you remember because of this design, obviously, and all this kind of dragon, and all this kind of thing. But then you have characters that is just are totally forgettable, um, in my opinion, anyways. And this is what I mean. What I don't really like this. I don't know, semi type of arc. It's because they are too close for me to be forgettable characters. And yeah, and obviously then with the Rob Lucci, and Rob Lucci have a young Serpine version of Akuma with him. So it looks a bit cool. I think the design is cool with Akuma with black wings. So they are there to obviously capture the Straw Pirates, and obviously Nico Robin, and obviously Monkey Luffy because Monkey Luffy, obviously Nico Robin because of that, and obviously so probably the next thing they will do, the Straw Pirates, that they will find the big giant that was work. Oh, the guy's name is. It's totally. Yeah, anyways, I totally forget his name, but he was when Nico Robin's home island was destroyed, and first people believe he was killed. Well, now we know that he's alive, and that is something with One Piece. That is a big sword blade in the heart. I think that is very much different from, in that sense, of Game of Thrones. Is that lots of very important characters never dies. They maybe looks like they die, and we don't see them maybe for maybe 6 or 7 years in the manga, and then in the real time, when and then they come from nowhere, they come back again. And I think this is the thing here, is that how this is what I mean. Probably Big Mom and Kaido is still alive, and Kaido will fight against the Blackbeard pirates. Or no, sorry, I said wrong. Maybe Big Mom will fight against the Blackbeard pirates, and somewhere Blackbeard will take. Always I said it before. Take her fruit, and because you can take different fruits, and that is probably the ability. The probably thing, one part of his ability is that Blackbeard is have a mythical devil user, the Yama Yama no Mi, the Lord of the Underworld, in Buddhist mythology, like the darkness, fighting against the light, and that is Monkey D. Luffy's, and guard Nika fruit, and all this kind of thing. Yeah, so yeah, this is something I think many people are a bit irritating about. Is that specific thing that big character never dies? Like they look like. I think that is the thing here, is that you don't really feel the effect of a death scene in One Piece, because in your back mind, you will always think, oh, okay, this character will be back in the far future, and something like that. Yeah, and so I probably missed some things, but the big thing is we meet a Sea Dragon with the Revolution Army. We see a Rob Lucci again with his Cypher Poles, and with Monkey Luffy and Jinbei. Obviously, they talk with Vegapunk, and yeah, and the other destroyed pirates. Besides Sorrow, they are in the control room, looking at the TV screen with Vegapunk 1. That's probably have the coolest design of all of the Vegapunk robots. I think that is the big thing. Yeah. Okay.